Hello again from Kremenchuk, in front of the train station, which is there, which you can't see properly anyway. In the daytime it's very cool with a green roof. And there, that direction, is the road where I did all the testing, or it's the broken up road. After the 2 or 3 sections where I did all my testing, and the broken up section is more the end, or almost the end, to get back to the start of that loop. And on that road, by the way, is also the Yoki Polki Hotel, which used to be the Yoki Polki Hotel. It's now some business, some office or something. And it was very nice because when I stayed there, so the first time I stayed in Kremenchuk a long time, it was 2013. And in that hotel there, you could hear all the whistles of the trains and the announcers that the train is going to leave or arrived somewhere on some track. I liked that because it felt like you were going all the time on a trip. And so I mentioned that I like this hotel to someone several years ago, and she said, "Oh, that's a bad location for a hotel." I thought, "What do you mean? It's a fantastic location. I loved it." And by the way, some other thing there, that building, it's been unfinished. It was unfinished when I got here the first time in 2013. Then I think 2014, maybe 2015, there were some small things done to it. But after that, nothing, and it's still unfinished. It does say Orenda, which means to rent, and it says also 1,300 square meter, kwadratnych metrów. It's a lot of room. I think they wanted to have sort of small businesses in there or something, at least on the lower floor. But above that, I don't know. That's the announcer. Yeah, that gives me the feeling of going on a trip, even when I'm not going. It's cool. So why am I staying here? Someone at the hotel where I'm staying, and I know the people here since last year. I've been there before, but really last year I got talking more to them about where to buy a house, got some input from them, locations to visit, very interesting. And yeah, that's where I'm staying now again with my bike. I put my bike in there, and one of the women working there asked me, why Kremenchuk, why not another city that you like? I like, for example, Khmelnytski, Zaporizhia, Kharkov. Well, it's quite simple. I was thinking about various houses when I came to Zhytomyr in 2022, and you can find really cool houses, but usually at a distance of 25 kilometers or so, or more from a big city. Now, for a car, that's not a problem, car use. But I don't want to be dependent on a car. But there's another aspect of why I don't think that's a good idea. It's if you're new to a country, for a living at least. Of course, I've traveled a lot in Ukraine. Then you should have more contact with people to learn the language more fluently. And of course, I know Russian, but I don't know Ukrainian. And that has got more emphasis, even though a lot of people still speak Russian. It continues, as I mentioned in one of my videos. People aren't suddenly speaking Ukrainian if they normally speak Russian. So they say "Здравствуйте," which is greeting, which is Russian, instead of, for example, "Добрый день," and "Спасибо," which means thank you, instead of "Дякую." Дякую is Ukrainian, Spasiba Russian. I know a few words of Ukrainian. I know the word for roof, like Dach, which is like the German Dach roof. Exactly the same. So Ukrainian has had more input from Polish and possibly also German. I don't know what the word for roof is in Polish. In any case, so why Kremenchuk because I find the right house at the right distance. And I like it here. It's sort of nostalgic, but also very, very interesting places. Not so far from here and far from here, but easy to reach. For example, you can get within 15 to 45 kilometers to a lot of places that are all interesting. But I would say mostly 25 kilometers or so you get to see a lot of interesting places, which is cool. And a few others 35, then a few more 40 or so. You can do that in 2 hours cycling, or a bit more if you're going slowly, like 2.5. And if you have a headwind, other things. And you're touring, not racing. So 2.5 hours. If you go in the morning, like 11 o'clock, then 14 o'clock you're there, let's say, at the latest. And then you go look around there for things you find interesting, or you have a picnic, or something else, or you go swimming. Let's say 3 hours, then it's 17, and then you go 3 hours back again at the slowest. Then you're back at 8 o'clock in the evening, so that's fine. What else you can do is go on a marshrutka to Kharkov for a day trip, or to Poltava. And that's what I did first time I got to Kremenchuk as well. I stayed in the Yoki-Poki hotel, and one woman who worked there, she was nice. She offered suggestions of what to do, where to go. I talked with her about quite a few things. And oh yeah, by the way, there were also fountains with lights and music. And last time I was here was 2023, I think. I think they didn't operate, or they didn't have the music and the sound, the lights, which was a pity. I think that was cool in 2013. I hadn't seen that in the Netherlands at all. So I talked with her. She suggested going on day trips. I went over where to go, and I went with the marshrutka, a sort of minivan with a lot of seats, and yeah, there's a trolley bus, and the trolley buses cost about 10 hryvnias, which is 25 cents. And at the moment there's actually a sort of half cashback when you use your Privatbank application. So what you do is there's a QR code, you scan it, you buy the ticket, and then you got your ticket. You show it to the conductor, the woman usually. And actually there's now cashback, 50%, ridiculously cheap. But anyway, so she suggested where to go, or I asked where to go, would this be possible in a day, something like this, because I didn't know. It was the first time that I really did long travels and unorganized travels. So what I did was in 2013 came to Kiev. I had arranged there an apartment. That was everything. I had not arranged anything else. No hotels, no trips, transport by train or marshrutka or whatever. And I would just see what happens and what's available and go there. That's how I did the entire trip. And I've done that on all my trips since then. There's a word for it, a name for it. But I didn't know that. I just did that. It was my own idea to do that. And it is a bit stressful sometimes. And then you need to make compromises on what to do, or stay a day longer in a city where you actually don't want to stay longer anymore, or you've seen enough, let's put it like that. But yeah, Lara, let's rev it up. Such a car. And so what I did was I went on day trips to Dnipropetrovsk, as it was called then, Kharkov and others. Yeah, I went to Cherkasy, but it didn't work very well because there was only one bus, I think, going to there. Not a marshrutka fast. So it was not so... I didn't have really time to explore the city. I should have stayed a day there in a hotel. and just you paid for double the rooms for the one that where you're not and where you are. But I should have done that. But okay, it's considering the prices in Ukraine, you can do that. And what you can do, so what I did was go early in the morning, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock with a marshrutka, and then it's 4 hours or so to Kharkov or Dnipro, and then you spend there the day exploring the city, and in the afternoon, like maybe 6 o'clock or something, take one back, 6 o'clock, or 5 o'clock. I know I would come back probably pretty late. I need to check how late it was. So the city has a bit of nostalgia, and here I found the right house at the right distance, about 11-12 kilometers from various places in the city. The beach, for example. It has cool parks. It has the most dangerous bridge in the world, what some people call it. A beach. Interesting places nearby. And today I went with the seller of the house to some places that he recommended for bicycle tourism. Close to a very small town or village, Omanik. All places near the river, beach, small beaches. Interesting. So there are a lot of places nearby where you can go by bike, or you can farther where you can go with a marshrutka on a day trip. So I think this area is pretty nice, and I just didn't find the right houses close to Khmelnytsky or in Khmelnytsky, Kharkov and Zaporizhia. Zaporizhia is possibly my favorite city, and that is about because you have Khortycha, which is the peninsula where they have the Cossack fortress, and also the Cossack show. That's probably not being held at the moment. I like that. I like it a lot. Sometimes you have smells from a factory there, which is why some people don't like it there. Same as with Mariupol, which is destroyed now, of course, but before it was destroyed, I liked it, but most people living there didn't like it. And it was, for example, because of that, I went to someone whom I met in, two women, and she invited me to come to Mariupol to her birthday. And I talked to a lot of, I don't know why, maybe that's the custom to only have women there. And it's like, if you're in a group of women as a man, then it feels a bit off. But anyway, interesting, but they were fairly negative about Mariupol. So I asked what she thought about Mariupol. She said grustny, which means like sad. And then later, a few days later, I went to the train station. Where did I go to after that? I don't recall at the moment, but I went to the train station using, I asked the place where I stayed, what is it, sort of hotel, not really hotel, more a guest house, to call a taxi. And because there were taxis at the bus station, they were trying to rip me off. And I thought, no way. And I think one said so many, I offered a little bit less. I thought, okay, I know it's too much, I'm going to offer you still too much, but closer to what you want. He said no, and I said, okay, I'll think about it, and I walked away. And I let the guest house call a taxi, and it was cheaper, and I paid her, I think, more than what the price was. And I asked her, the taxi driver, what do you think about life in Mariupol? Is it grustny? Is it sad? No, she said that's not. She didn't experience it like that. But anyway, these are different points of view of what you expect from life, perhaps, or what work you have as well. I wonder what's happened to her. But anyway, now that Mariupol is completely destroyed. Kharkov, yeah, I like it, the city. It's big, it's not too noisy, it has cool buildings, I like it a lot there. But I didn't find anything for a price I thought, yeah, that's a nice price. The strange thing in Ukraine is you find usually old buildings that you need to renovate, or newer style buildings, modern buildings, and they are very expensive. Well, very expensive, not compared to the Netherlands, but still expensive. And the reason for that, I think, is that the people who build these houses have no need to sell them. They have so much money, they can do almost what they want. And what I've noticed, and with my former friends from Zhytomyr, is that people who were selling a house that we visited already had two others, or an apartment in the city and then a house in the countryside, a dacha, but usually bigger. These people build nice big houses for themselves with a bathhouse, and think, yeah, Jesus, nobody in the Netherlands has that, or almost nobody. And so these people have three houses, over an apartment to two houses. How come? It's weird. Anyway, expensive. Yeah, houses in Poland are actually cheaper. You get more value for money in Poland. A friend of mine in Kiev said, yeah, that's because all the workers are Ukrainians who are working in Poland. Yeah, perhaps. Low cost labor. So in Kharkov I saw some ridiculously big houses. Like one is 1100 square meters. Oh my god. What's the... When you're finished evacuating one room, you can start with the first one. 11 rooms or so. This is ridiculous. And the price, actually not bad, but no, that's not for me. And it's usually too far away from Kharkov. Or you get again the houses that you need to renovate. And of course, if you pay not much money for a house, an older house, then you can do that. But I don't want to do it. I mean, I've done it with my house in the Netherlands. I don't want to do it. So I didn't really see anything. In unfinished houses you also see unfinished newer style houses, but then what you need to do is finish all the plumbing, the heating systems, flooring, stucco on the walls, etc. And yeah, could I do it? Building a house at the moment here is also expensive. Unlike in Russia, as someone told me, where it's now cheap to build a house. But in Ukraine, no, everything's expensive because of the problems with the war, which means transport is expensive and other reasons. Building materials possibly as well, because prices have risen almost everywhere a lot. So the choice was a finished, fairly modern house, about 10 kilometers or so from a city, to be not too far away for the bicycle, but also have more contact with people. And then you get to a very limited subset of the offers. But I found what I like, and I will show more about that later. If all goes well, tomorrow I will go to the notary and we will make it all official. Okay, that's it for now. Bye.